It's been just over a week since Bandai announced the new Naruto Card Game. I've got 5 predictions that I'm going to share with you for the new game. What's up everyone, it's Garrett with Talking Cards, and I couldn't be more excited to be talking about the Naruto Card Game today. While we still don't know that much information outside of the website and what was released on the trailer and announcements last week, I've sat with the game and sat with my ideas for a week now, and I think I got 5 really good predictions for the Naruto Card Game. All of these predictions are based on my history with Bandai games like One Piece, Fusion World, and Gundam, and that's kind of what I'm basing this off of, is how the Bandai model operates, as well as other TCGs. So with that being said, let's get into my first prediction, which is that Naruto will be a leader-based card game. So why do I think Naruto will be a leader-based game? Well, I think it makes sense within the world of Naruto, and I'm hoping that lore will drive the game more than anything else. I want the game to be built around the lore of the Naruto universe, and as long as it's doing that and keeping that at its center, I'm hoping that gives us like results that feel cool to play and feels right for the game, if that makes sense. They are very good at using lore in One Piece and in Dragon Ball in different ways. For example, Whitebeard leader takes his own life because he's dying. That makes sense. That's lore accurate and really cool to see, and it adds a cool dimension to playing the One Piece card game. And I think they'll be able to do opportunities just like that in Naruto. And to me, that starts with leaders, because in the Naruto universe, they have team leaders and squad leaders. They use both terms at certain points in the anime. And to me, that already points into the direction of a leader-based game. And for our examples of this within the Bandai ecosystem, we have One Piece to look to, we have Fusion World, Masters. They're all leader-based games. And all games to varying levels of success. You know, One Piece being Bandai's golden goose, if you will, and being their biggest game so far. So I really think Naruto is going to be a leader-based game, following that and using lore to pretty much incite its gameplay and design. At least that's my hope. I want to see lore drive everything. So let's get to my second prediction. So for my second prediction, I believe that the Naruto card game will use a different mana system from One Piece or Gundam. In One Piece, they have the Dan system, and in Gundam, they have resources. Both of these operate just a tad differently. In One Piece, you have the Dan deck, and Dan works as player 1 goes from 1, 3, 5, 7, 9 till they get to 10 Dan, and then player 2 goes from 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Using no EX resource like there is in Gundam, or a energy marker like in Dragon Ball for player 2, to try to make it a little more even and feel better for going second, because usually going first is better in card games. Well, in One Piece, you just experience different curves. Player 1 will, like I said, their curve will be 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, and then eventually 10. And then player 2 is operating on a whole different curve of 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. And it's one of the reasons I dislike the One Piece Dan system. I don't like that me and my opponent are playing 2 different curves based on a dice roll. I don't think that's fun or fair for the most part, because that really matters with some matchups. And then in Gundam, both players just get 1 resource a turn until they get to 10, and that's where it's maxed out to right now. And then you have an EX resource for going second. I don't think the Chakra card that has already been revealed will work in either of these 2 ways. I think based on the lore of Naruto, Chakra will be something we spend to do something like an action on a card. For example, maybe our Naruto leader can do, like for 2 Chakra every turn can do something. And I think we'll have a separate Chakra deck, and that allows us to do abilities. I'm hoping there's a whole nother mana system for actually playing out cards from our hand, or to do certain actions, and that Chakra is reserved for abilities. I think that'd be a really cool way to have like maybe 2 separate mana systems built within the game. And that's what I'm hoping for with the Naruto card game. And that's a good segue to bring me into my next point, which is I think the gameplay design will be unique to the Naruto card game. So what do I mean by that? Well, for my third prediction, I'm saying that it won't play like Gundam or One Piece. And why am I picking those 2? Because to me, they played a little differently. In One Piece, we have a leader game. In Gundam, we don't. In Gundam, it's just, pick 2 colors and build around that, which makes it a really good deck building game. It has the potential for really to do anything as the game progresses and as more sets come out, and that pool just gets even deeper. In One Piece, everything is kind of constructed around the leader, and usually when a leader is released, you have 40 or so cards that are designated for that leader, and deck design and building is pretty simple. It's also the case for Fusion World and Masters. Every leader that comes out, like the new Vegito and Fusion World, it will have 44-ish cards that will already be mandatory for the deck that are in the set, and it pretty much serves as like a guide onto how to build the deck. So the deck building is not that complex. With Naruto, I would like to see the game designed in such a way that deck building does take more prominence, like in Gundam, but also crafts its own story, its own game. And what I mean by that is like the One Piece combat system is where you can use cards from hand to combo out, which is very good in the sense that it's interactive. There's also a similar system in Fusion World and Masters where you can combo out of attacks by using cards. In One Piece it is called counter, in Fusion World it's combo, and you can use it even in Fusion World offensively. In Gundam, you don't have that step, so it's not as interactive, and instead you're using your resources that you might have left untapped to do certain events or commands during their turn. From whatever card game you are coming from, one of those terms will make sense to you. So I really think that Naruto is going to find its own way here and kind of play the middle of these two to create its own gameplay and own system. At the very end of the day, it is still a Bandai game, but there are also a lot of games to pick from. We have seen unique things with Riftbound. It is essentially a leader-based game, but with their legend, they get to have a champion unit that they can call out and pay for at any time to play it in the game. And they don't have to search for it because it starts there right next to their leader. This is a cool, unique mechanic to Riftbound. So I can even see that with Naruto, with our team leader having like a teammate right next to it and starting the game. Any system like that would make a lot of sense for the lore of Naruto, so I wouldn't be opposed to it, but I really think it's going to find its own unique pattern. If we look at the last 2 games that were developed by Bandai, Battle Spirits for here in America and then Gundam, they do play differently than what came before it in One Piece and the Dragon Ball games, as well as Digimon. So there's a little bit of flair that makes every game feel a little unique. The closest related are definitely One Piece and Dragon Ball. And I really believe that Naruto is going to differentiate itself from One Piece and Dragon Ball to feel like a wholly unique game. And then for my 4th prediction, let's talk about tournament structure. So Bandai has a certain way they like to organize their tournaments and how you get to nationals and get to worlds, and it's a clear path. So if we look at the card games that are out right now, let's take One Piece for example. You have your locals, and then you have local events like Store Treasure Cups, Store Championships, which will give you invites to nationals. And then there's other local events like Grand Battles right now where you can win really good prizing. And if we look at Gundam, you have a similar format. You have, your locals, and then you have your new type challenges where it's really for prizing. And then you have your store championships where it's really about the invite. And then of course in both games, the next level is regionals. One Piece regionals are already huge, usually over 1,000 people. There still are some locations where it's 512, but most of the time it's 1,000 or higher. And then Gundam is around 512 to 764 usually, right in that gap. And I could see Naruto starting at 512 for regionals and quickly moving to like 1024 for cap. I think once the first regional or so sells out fast, sells out probably instantly, I think Bandai will realize that it's time to up the cap for the game and get more players and seats. And this is great for the game because you want to see the game be popular right off the jump, and I'm hoping Bandai capitalizes on the hype for the game, which will definitely be there. And then lastly, we have nationals, and to get to nationals, like I said, you have those store championships and you have regionals to try to get your invite to get to nationals. And nationals was such a limited affair for Gundam this past Nats because the game came out like halfway through the year. So it was only like 96 people we had at Nats that I qualified for. And then in One Piece, it's a much bigger event, around 512, and it can change based on LCQ invites and all that. So I think Naruto will follow a similar path. I think our first year will probably have around 250, somewhere in there for Nats. Maybe we have around 512, I don't know. That'd be really cool to see. And then after Nats, the next plan is Worlds. And you only get to Worlds usually by getting like first or second, depending on the region, maybe even third at Nationals. And then you get to go to Japan and play the game. Now, there's no guarantee this one will be in Japan as well. Dragon Ball is actually here in North America usually, and One Piece is in Japan along with Gundam and I believe Digimon as well. So that's kind of the tournament structure that I think we can pretty much guarantee will be in place, and I have really good faith that that prediction will be 100% correct. And for my last prediction, number 5, I think it's almost a guarantee that we'll have Kishimoto designed cards and possibly signature cards. So what do I mean by a signature card? Well, in One Piece, Oda signed a Luffy card and designed the artwork, and this is known as Signature Luffy. Well, this card is highly sought after for obvious reasons because Oda, designed the card and signed it. I think Kishimoto could do the same. Why do I think that? Well, he's already made custom art for the Naruto card game. If we look at the website, we can see the artwork that he's drawn of Naruto and Sasuke holding a Naruto card game card. I mean, that's so cool. This artwork looks great, it looks awesome, and I can't wait to see a Kishimoto designed card, and I'm really hoping it does carry his signature. This game is going to be a big draw for players and collectors alike, and having Kishimoto specifically designed cards for the game will be huge for the hype and just the draw into the Naruto card game. And then I'll give a bonus prediction. I'm going to predict that I will win a Naruto Regional Championship and have another mat to go with my One Piece Regional Champ mat. Nah, I'm just messing with you guys. But I am trying to be Hokage, and if you are, drop a comment down below, let me know, and also let me know what you think of these 5 predictions. I want to hear what you guys think. Do you think it will be a leader-based game? Do you think, any of my other predictions are wrong? Do you think the mana system will be like One Piece? Comment down below and let me know. And of course, if you are following the Naruto card game, like this video, subscribe to the channel. There will be as much Naruto content as I can put out with the information we know. So definitely stick around and smash that subscribe button and hang around for more Naruto content to come. See you guys later.